Hello, you've reached Bright Dental. My name's Sarah. How can I help you today?
Hey Sarah, could I book an appointment for a checkup, please?
Of course, I'd be happy to help you book a checkup. May I have your full name, please? If you could spell it out for me, that would be great.
Yeah, it's Matthew Cohn, Matthewcohn.
Thank you, Matthew Cohn. Just to confirm, that's Matthewcohn. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Great, thank you for confirming. Could I have your phone number, please? I'll repeat it back to make sure I have it right.
yeah, it's 07538123456.
Thank you. So that's 07538123456. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Perfect, thank you. Could I have your email address as well? If you could spell it out for me, that would be helpful.
yeah, it's matt@gmail.com, so just matt@gmail.com.
Thank you. So your email is matt@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
Thank you, Matthew. When would you like to come in for your checkup? Is there a particular day or time that works best for you?
Could I do Saturday morning?
Let me check our schedule for available times on Saturday morning. We have a few openings this Saturday morning, 9:30 to 10 a.m., 10:30 to 11 a.m., or 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. Which time would you prefer?
Let's go 9:30.
I'll book you in for your checkup this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. You're all set, Matthew. Your checkup is booked for this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's perfect. Thank you. What you just saw is an inbound voice agent that is available 24/7, never misses a call, and books appointments directly into your calendar. In the UK and US, companies collectively lose $100 billion worth of business every single year just due to missed calls. In today's video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to build an inbound voice agent for any business that never misses a call and books appointments directly into the calendar. And the best part is I'm going to make it so easy that you don't even need any coding or previous experience with voice agents to understand how to do this. If you're new here, my name is Matt and I'm the founder of FutureFlow AI, where we build AI voice and text agent systems for service-based businesses. We've helped our clients generate over $500,000 in additional revenue by implementing our AI growth systems. And I've also personally taught over 2,000 business owners and AI enthusiasts on how to build these systems for themselves. Here's how the video is going to go. First, I'm going to show you how to create an inbound voice agent and also provide you with resources so that you can go and consolidate that learning. Second, I'm going to show you how to get your agent to book appointments directly into any calendar. And finally, I'm going to show you how to connect a real phone number to your voice agent to make this system more realistic and help you actually start implementing this for other businesses or within your own business. So without further ado, let's jump into building your agent. The first place we want to go to is Retail AI. Retail AI is where we build our voice agents and it is completely free to sign up. If you are signing up for the first time, you will actually get $10 worth of free usage credits. Once you've used up your $10 of credit, it is then on a pay per usage basis. So no annoying monthly subscription fees. Once you've signed up, you should see a screen like this. And what I want you to do is I want you to go in and create an agent. We're going to select voice agent and then we're going to select single agent prompt and then hit create. Once you've hit create, it will take you to the agent builder screen, which should look something like this. Now, if you're completely new to retail, I'm going to show you a couple of the settings that you need to know about, and then we'll get into actually building the agent. At the top left here, we have what we call our provider. Now, this is the LLM model that is going to create the responses which our voice agent is then going to speak over the phone. I like to use GPT 4.1 default as it's the most reliable in my experience. Once you've selected your provider, you can now come and select the voice for your agent. Retail already has some preloaded voices in here, but if you can't find a voice that you like, what I can suggest is going to 11 Labs and finding a voice from there and then copying it over to retail. And if you don't know how to do that, then I'm going to show you just now. So now we are in the 11 Labs platform, and for those of you that don't know what 11 Labs is, they are one of the leading providers of synthesized AI voices, and they have a huge selection of voices that you can choose from to assign to your voice agents. They have a filter type where you can filter your voices based on language, accent, category, gender, age, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can find and then apply filters. Let's say you've found the voice that you like and you want to use it for your retail voice agent. To copy the voice over to retail is actually very, very simple. All you need to do is go to the voice that you like, you hit the three dots, you want to copy voice ID, then you want to come back into retail, and under 11 Labs, you want to add custom voice and then paste in that voice ID there, and the voice that you selected should populate like this. Once you've selected it, just hit save. Once you've saved the 11 Labs voice in your retail account, it will then show up at the top of your agent here. And it now is embedded in your account and you can use it for loads of different ages. So you only need to upload it once and then you basically have it forever. For the final section here, we're going to select the language that we want our agent to talk. Now, you can select from all the different languages that they have here, depending on what language you want your agent to talk. But in this use case, we're going to use English UK because I am from Scotland and we speak English UK in Scotland. The next part is your system prompt box, and this is where we are going to input our voice agent prompt. The prompt is essentially how we create our voice agent. In the prompt, we're going to identify what is the agent's role, what is the context, i.e. who is it speaking to and why is it speaking to those people. We're going to identify the task. We're going to create a conversational flow to help guide the agent on how it should navigate the conversation. And then we're also going to add a couple other of conversational guidelines to make our agent sound as human as possible. So the next part is your welcome message, and this is going to be the first message that your agent speaks when it answers the phone. And we always want to set it as AI speaks first and then custom message so that we have control over what the agent says when it answers the phone. Now, for today's example, I have created a fictitious company called Bright Dental. They are obviously a dental practice, and the inbound agent that we're going to create today is Bright Dental's inbound voice agent receptionist, who's going to answer the calls, find out what someone's issue is and why they need to book an appointment, collect their details, and then book them in for an appointment. The resources you can see here are available to you for free, and you can access them in my Voice Agent Vault. The Voice Agent Vault is just a free resource hub full of all of my different free resources, from my different YouTube videos to my LinkedIn content. In there, you'll find automations, prompts, systems, custom GPTs, and other tips and tricks that I've learned along the way of building these voice agents for the last year. Like I said, it's completely free and you can sign up with the link down below in the description. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the example voice agent prompt from the resources, we're going to copy it and then paste it directly into our agent and hit save. If you are brand new to building voice agents, then I'm going to just go through the different sections of the prompt and explain what I'm writing and why I'm writing it. Now, the first section is the role, and this is where we're essentially telling the voice agent what its role is. Next, we have the context, so essentially telling the agent who they're speaking to and why they are speaking to them. So you can see, I've said you're speaking with someone who has called Bright Dental for the first time, they're looking to book an appointment, and you're here to make that process quick and easy. Second is the personality, and this is how we create the conversation style of the agent. And what I mean by that is that different agents for different use cases will have different conversation styles, just the same way us humans would. For example, for Bright Dental's receptionist, I want the receptionist to be warm, friendly, but also professional. In a different use case, say healthcare or law, you might want the voice agent to be a bit more serious, knowledgeable, and to the point. The personality section is where you would customize that for your agent. So you can see here that I've wrote warm, friendly, professional. You speak in a calm, reassuring tone that puts people at ease, especially important since many people might feel anxious about visiting the dentist. So I'm telling it how it's going to communicate and what's its personality. Next, we have the task. So what is the agent's goal of every conversation? And it doesn't need to be one singular task. You can have multiple tasks, or even if you wanted to call this objectives. So for Bright Dental's receptionist, we want to welcome the caller warmly. We want to understand what their issue is. We want to collect their details, book them for an appointment, and then confirm all those details before we end the call. Now we come to the conversational flow, where things get interesting. The conversational flow is essentially how we teach the voice agent how the conversations should normally go. It's how we give it structure on what questions it should ask and how it should move through the different stages of the conversation. This is actually probably the most logical part of the process, and it's also the part of the process that a lot of people get confused with or overcomplicate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the different stages of the conversation that I've created for the Bright Dental receptionist, just so that you can understand how I'm structuring this, and it'll make a lot more sense once we do that. So first stage is the greeting. Like in any conversation, we greet someone over the phone with a warm welcome, a nice hello, whatever that might be. Then we want to identify the issue. So why are they calling the dentist? What do they need help with? Then we want to collect their details. So in order for us to help, we need to know who's calling us. So we want to collect their full name, their phone number, and their email address. Then once we have their issue and their contact details, we can now book them in for an appointment. So that's what the fourth stage is doing. It's getting a date and time that they are available and then booking them into the calendar. Fifth and final stage is just ending the call. So wrapping the call up, summarizing what we've spoken about, and then saying that, we look forward to seeing them when they come in for their appointment. The next section, which isn't part of the conversational flow, is the knowledge base. This is where we're essentially training the agent on all the information that it needs to know about the business. As you can see, the knowledge base is quite small in comparison to what you might think about a knowledge base for a voice agent for a specific business. And the reason I just kept it small is just to keep this video as simple as possible. If you want to train your voice agent on a bigger knowledge base, so if you have a business that's a bit more complex and you want the agent to know all the different products and services that you do, what you can do is you can actually upload a knowledge base file to the agent. So instead of putting all of the information in the prompt and overcomplicating the agent, what you can do is you can create a knowledge base here. You just add a file, and this can be a Word doc, a PDF. It can even be a website URL that the agent can reference as its knowledge base to understand more about what the business does. But like I said, in this example, we've kept it nice and simple, and I've just given it, what the dental practice offers and their information like opening times, location, and a couple other details as well. Next section, we have function usage guidelines. And don't worry if you've never heard of the word function or you don't understand what it means. Functions are essentially how we allow the voice agents to perform actions while it's on the phone. So in this example, we want the agent to be able to check the calendar for availability and then book the appointments into the calendar, all while it's still on the phone. In order to do that, we have to create functions that can connect the voice agent to our calendar. So as you can see here, we have two functions. We have our check availability function, which is going to allow the agent to go and check the calendar to see what times are available. And then we have our book appointment function, which is going to allow the agent to actually go and book that appointment. The last section is called important notes, and it's just some quick reminders that we want to give the agent for the conversation as a whole. So you can see here that I've said, only ask one question at a time, keep your responses short and conversational, because the last thing that we want is our voice agent going on and on and on. Always repeat back names and phone numbers to ensure accuracy. And if someone mentions pain or an emergency, prioritize finding the earliest available appointment. Because my voice agent's name is Sarah, I'm actually going to change the voice that the agent is using. And I actually really like the voice for Grace. So I'm going to choose Grace and then confirm that up there. So now that we have our provider selected, we have our voice, we have our language, We have our prompt, which is actually creating the agent and allowing it to hold a conversation. We have our welcome message, which is what the agent is going to say when it answers the phone. All we need to do now is create the functions which allows the agent to actually go and book the appointments. So what we're going to do is come up to the functions tab here, and we're going to hit add. Now this is where retail comes in really, really handy. Instead of having to integrate custom functions and doing all that sort of complicated stuff, it has a native integration with cal.com, which is an appointment scheduling software. With this native integration, it makes it very, very easy to not only connect our calendars to cal.com, but then connect our voice agent to that calendar so that it can book appointments. If I just go into the check calendar availability function now, you can see here that the only information that we need is our API key from cal.com and our event type ID from cal.com. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into cal.com. I'm going to show you guys how to set that all up and then how we can get our API key and event type ID. So here we are in cal.com. It's completely free to sign up, and you can either sign up with your email or sign up with Google. Once you sign up, you should be taken to this page, and the first thing that we want to do is we want to connect our calendar to our cal.com account. To do that, we want to go up to the top left, hit my profile, go to calendars, and then connect calendar apps. In cal.com, they have native integrations with the most popular calendars like Google, Outlook, and Apple. But since I use Google Calendar, I'm going to connect up my Google Calendar just now. It's really, really simple. You just click into details, hit install app, and then follow the Google instructions. Once you've followed the instructions and connected your calendar, your screen should look something like this. So you can see here that it's added my Matt at FutureFlow AI calendar, and it looks to be all connected. Next, what we want to do is actually create our event type. So we're going to go up to the top of the screen here and select event types. The event types is essentially the calendar event that the voice agent is going to create when it books the appointment. So if we just go into the first event type and hit create, we're going to give it a title and just call it Bright Dental Appointment. And for the description, we're just going to say an appointment with Dr. Con. Dr. Con has a good ring to it. And we're going to set the duration to 30 minutes. Hit continue. And now we have created our event type. Now, since this is a dental appointment and it's likely going to be in person, we want to change the location. If you're booking appointments for, Zoom calls or Google Meets, you can change the location here and just select Google Meets or Cal Video, whichever one you want to use. But for our example, we're going to use an in-person address. So we're going to hit in-person, and on the bottom here, we're going to select our address as 123 Main Street. Next, we want to do our availability. So we want to set what available times we want the AI to be able to book into. Now, I've already preset mine as 9 to 5 Monday to Friday and 9 to 1 on a Saturday. But if you want to go in and change and customize it for your own availability, you can do so down at the bottom right here. Just hit edit availability, and you can go in and change your availability for each day. Once you've done that, just hit save. Now that we have our availability selected, we want to go to the advanced section and just make sure that our calendar is connected to the event type. Now, because I only have one calendar connected to my cal.com account, it is automatically assigned this event to that calendar. If you have other events and other calendars, then you can mix and match depending on what event type you're booking into which calendar. Now that we have connected our calendar and created our event type, we now need those two pieces of information that we need to feed to retail. So the first one is our API key. Now, to get that, we want to go back up to the top left to my profile, and then we want to go down to API keys. Obviously, I don't have any API keys right now, so let's add one. Your API key can be any name, it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to call this Bright Dental, And because this is just for demo purposes, I'm just going to set this as 7 days. But you can set it as never expire. So therefore your API key will never expire. Once you've set your expiration date and named your key, you just want to hit save. Now, when you hit save, it will create your API key and then display it on the screen with the button that you can copy this API key. Now, this API key won't show ever again. You don't have access to it ever again. This is the only time that you can view your API key. So what I want you to do is copy it and save it to a safe place, because this is the only time you're going to see it. If you don't copy it to a safe place, you're going to have to go and create a new one and then connect up the functions and automations all over again. And it's just a bit of a pain in the ass. So save this API key in a safe place so that you can access it whenever you need. So I'm going to copy mine and I'm going to go save it in a safe place. Once we've copied and saved our API key, we now need to go get our event type ID. To do that, we come back to the event types page. We want to click into our new event. And then at the top in the URL, you can see that there's a series of numbers, and this is what our event type ID is. So we just want to copy these numbers on the URL, copy, and then save in a safe place next to your API key. Now that we have our API key and event type ID, we want to go back to retail and input those in our check availability and our schedule appointment functions so that our voice agent can now book appointments directly into our calendar. So it's pretty straightforward. We go to functions, we hit add, go to check calendar availability, and then we want to paste in our API key here and then paste in our event type ID there. You want to also select your time zone. So my time zone is the Europe-London time zone, but whatever time zone that you want your agent to book in or wherever your agent is supposed to be based in, then you'd input that time zone there. Once you've input the fields, you can just hit save. And now we have created our check availability function, and we want to just go and do the exact same thing for our book appointment function. Okay, so now we have our check availability and our book appointment functions set up. I'm now going to test the agent in the chat feature just to have a quick test. The chat feature is, as I said, a really good way of quickly testing your agents without having to actually go and speak to them. So on the left-hand side, we have my calendar for this Saturday. And on the right-hand side, I've asked the agent if I can book an appointment for a checkup. I've given it my name, I've given it my phone number, I've given it my email address, and now it's just going to ask me what time I'd like to book an appointment for. So I'm going to say this Saturday at 11 a.m. It's going to check the calendar for availability, and then once I book it in, it should show up on the calendar on the left hand side here. It's saying that we don't have an availability for 11, so let's just say, okay, yes, 11:30 works. And now it has called the tool to book the appointment, and the appointment has now been set in my calendar there on the left. So we now have an operational agent that can book appointments directly into your calendar using the cal.com book appointment functionality in retail. Now that we have our agent set up, the final step is how we actually connect a real phone number to our voice agent. And to do that, we're going to need to go into Twilio, buy a phone number, and then connect it to retail. So we'll jump into Twilio where I'll show you how you can do that part. So if you don't have a Twilio account yet, you will need to sign up. And when you sign up, you do need to register and verify yourself as a real person and a real business. In order to do that, you will have to give your details like your email, your website domain, a valid form of ID, so like a passport or a driver's license, and then also some information about your company, so your company name, your address, and potentially even a company number. So if you're in the UK, you might have to use your company number, which you can find on Companies House. And if you're in the US, you might need to use your EIN number. So just to make you aware that when you sign up to Twilio, you do have to do those specific steps before you can create your account. The reason they do this is just to stop spam sellers and fraud artists from creating accounts, buying phone numbers, and then calling people to basically scam them out of their money. But once you have set up your Twilio account, you should be taken to a screen that looks like this. And to buy a phone number, you want to go to Phone Numbers, Manage, Buy a Number. For this example, I'm going to buy a UK local number. So what I want to do is go to country, type in United Kingdom. Because I want a local number, I'm going to set the search criteria as the first part of the number to be +447 and then hit search. And then I'm provided a list of phone numbers that I can buy. To buy a phone number, it is very, very easy. All you need to do is go to the right hand side and click the button buy and then follow through the steps that it asks you to go through. To purchase a number, you pay this 83 pence up front, and then to keep the number, you pay 83 pence every month after that. So it's very, very cost effective. Once you have bought your number, it should show you a screen something like this. And now what we need to do is we need to set up what we call an elastic SIP trunk so that we can connect the phone number from Twilio to retail. And I'm going to show you how to do that just now. First step you want to do is go to the top right corner and type in SIP trunk. And you want to select elastic SIP trunk. Once you're in here, you want to create a new SIP trunk. And for the friendly name, I usually just use the name of my business or the business that I'm setting this up for. So in this example, I'm going to type in Bright Dental. Once we have our friendly name, we hit create. Now we have created our new SIP trunk, we need to configure our SIP trunk. And we need to go through these different settings on the left-hand side to configure the SIP trunk. Within the General tab, what we want to do is we want to select Call Transfer SIP. We want to enable that. We want to enable PSTN transfer, and we want to enable symmetric RTP, and then hit save. Within the termination, we want to create our termination SIP URI. So usually I just name this the same that I do for the friendly name. So in here, I'm just going to write Bright Dental. Once you type in your termination SIP, it should show available. If it isn't available, then it means someone is already using that name, so you need to go and create a new one. Once you have your available termination SIP URI, what you want to do is you want to save this full SIP URI somewhere safe. So for example, it would be .pstn.twilio.com. So you just want to copy this like that, remove the part that we just added, okay, and then save that somewhere safe. Next, we want to create a new credentials list. So I'm just going to hit this blue button here. The friendly name, I'm just going to use the same name I used before, Bright Dental. For the username, I use the same friendly name, and then for the password, you can set whatever password that you want, but just make sure that you save this password and username in a safe space. Now we have our credential list saved, we want to just hit save. Next, we want to go to origination, and we want to add a new origination URI. For our origination SIP URI, this is a value that we actually get from retail to connect the number from Twilio to retail. So when I click in here, it will already save what the retail SIP URI is, and I'll leave that down in the resources down below so that you don't need to go into the documentation and find that yourself. So what you want to do is just enter that in here, keep priority and weights the same, keep it enabled, and then hit add. Now finally, for the easy part, we just want to add the new number which we just purchased to our new SIP trunk. So you want to go to the top right and select add number, add existing number, and then add the new phone number which we just purchased. And now our phone number is added to the SIP trunk. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, we're going to jump back to retail and add in the number using the SIP trunk feature in retail. Within retail, we are in the phone numbers section, and we want to go to the top and hit plus and connect your number via SIP trunking. For the phone number, we want to enter the phone number we just purchased from Twilio in the E164 format, which just means that it has no spaces, no dash, no like quotation marks, nothing. It's just plain plus your country code and then the full numbers. So I'm going to paste in my number just now. For the termination URI, that is the part where you had your friendly name and then the .pstn.twilio.com. So I'm just going to paste that in there just now. For our SIP trunk username, we just used the same friendly name. So I'm going to type in Bright Dental. And then for our password, just use the password which you used when creating the SIP trunk. For the nickname, I always just use the phone number, but you can call the nickname whatever you want. You could say, you know, UK number 1 or whatever way you want to nickname your phone numbers. I always just use the phone number that I bought as the nickname. And then we select save. And now we have added our phone number from Twilio directly into retail. And for the final step, it is really, really simple to add this phone number to your retail agent. All you need to do is go into the inbound call agent section, select that, select the agent which you've just created, and then boom, it is connected. And now when you go into your agent/assistant dashboard, you will see the agent that you created and then the phone number which is now attached to that agent. So just to show you that this is now all working as it should, I have the phone number that I just purchased and I've assigned to the agent. I'm going to give it a call and make sure that it's all connected.
Hello, you've reached Bright Dental. My name's Sarah. How can I help you today?
Hey Sarah, I'd like to book an appointment for a checkup.
Thank you for calling, and I'd be happy to help you book a checkup. May I have your full name, please? Could you spell it for me to make sure I get it right?
Yeah, it's MATTCOHN, Matt Conn.
Thank you, Matt Conn. Just to confirm, your name is spelled MATTCONN. Is that correct?
No, it's COHN, sorry.
Thank you for clarifying, Matt. So your name is spelled MATTCOHN. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. Could I please have your phone number? I'll repeat it back to make sure I have it right.
07538 123 456.
Thank you. Just to confirm, your phone number is 07538123456. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Could I have your email address as well? Please spell it out for me to ensure I get it right.
Yeah, it's matt@gmail.com.
Thank you, Matt. Just to confirm, your email address is m-t-t@gmail.com. Is that correct?
No, it's just matt@gmail.com, no dashes.
Thank you for clarifying, Matt. So your email is just matt@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Thank you. When would you like to come in for your checkup, Matt? Is there a particular day or time that works best for you?
I'm available anytime on Saturday morning.
Let me check our schedule for available times on Saturday morning. It looks like this Saturday has already passed. Would you like to book for next Saturday morning instead?
When you say this Saturday's past, what date is that? Because I'm looking at Saturday the 18th.
Thank you for checking, Matt. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, so this Saturday is the 18th. I'll check our availability for Saturday morning, October 18th. We have a few options available on Saturday, October 18th, 9 o'clock to 10 a.m., 10:30 to 11 a.m., or 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. Which time would you prefer?
9 a.m. is perfect.
Great. I'll book you in for 9 a.m. on Saturday, October 18th. Your checkup is all booked for 9 a.m. on Saturday, October 18th, Matt. You'll receive a confirmation soon. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Matt. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday, October 18th at 9 a.m. If you need anything before then, just give us a call. Have a great
Okay, so you can see that it checked the availability and it booked the appointment. There was a little chink in the armor where it said that this Saturday had already passed, which is a very common thing with voice agents. But since you've stuck to the end, I'm going to show you a trick on how to actually fix that with your agents to make sure that it knows what the current date and time is and can book appointments the right way. So when it comes to giving the voice agent the ability to actually know what the current date and time is, it's actually very simple, and retail makes it very, very easy because they have native dynamic variables that we can use to give the agent the current date and time, and also the current time zone that we and the agent is operating in. And because you stuck to the end, I'm going to show you the really easy trick that you do. All you need to do is at the bottom of your prompt or at the top of your prompt, write in this: current date and time, colon, and then in 2 curly brackets, you have current underscore time, and then underscore whatever time zone that you are in. And once you put this prompt into your voice agent prompt, the agent will then have all the context about what the current date and time is right now, so that it can book appointments correctly in your calendar. That is the end of today's video. I just want to thank you very much if you made it all the way to the end. I hope you got a ton of value, and this is definitely the easiest way to build an inbound voice agent that never misses a call and books appointments. And I hope that you can see from the demonstration that you don't need any coding or previous experience to do something like this. In the comments down below, I have attached a link to my Voice Agent Vault where you can get all of the resources from this video and all of my other videos. In there, there's different automations, prompts, templates, resources, and just tips and tricks that I've learned along the way of building voice agents for the last year. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment. And if you like videos like this and want to see more, then definitely hit the subscribe button down below. But until next time, I shall see you later.